how to properly network. So as some people would say, I was slacking off playing pickleball. In reality, I was networking, kind of. Well, I was going to meet an older, very wealthy guy to go play pickleball. As an older Russian dude, and I was just going to have fun for an hour and a half, and this was awesome, epic. But here's the deal. So this guy, he's retired, he's in his 60s, and he was in real estate where he owned a few hundred commercial buildings. So, you know, that you would, if you go to Whole Foods or Starbucks or one of these buildings, that's going to be a commercial renter. So those companies don't own that building. Someone owns it and then rents it out to them. So he owned a couple hundred of those. He sold everything. He's retired. So now what he does for income is he just is a hard money lender. And what that means is someone like me would go to him and say, hey, I'm going to buy this project. I'm going to buy this 20 unit project for let's say a multifamily deal. And I want, it's a $4 million project, 200,000 units per door. And I have to put 25% down. So I'm going to go to him and ask him for $1 million loan. And he's going to charge me, he actually charges really good rates, 7.5% to 8.5%, which is actually a really good rate. So that means I need to pay him a 7% return on his capital in 1 year. So I need to pay him $1,070,000 after 1 year. So he gets a 7% return. I then could use this for the down payment on the house, stabilize the property, refinance it, give him his equity back plus the interest that I owe him. And then I have a property that I own. This is, I mean, it's very common for hard money lenders. And I don't know the exact business model super well. I know a lot of people who do it, but I don't know the ins and outs. But what he does is he said, dude, I am old and I'm rich. I don't care about getting an extra 1 or 2%. I care about the safety. So what I make people do is I will only lend to people that already have tons of assets, and I make them sign a personal guarantee on all of their assets to me. So he's a freaking loan shark where, let's say I had 30 buildings. I would sign a personal guarantee for all my buildings, of course, if they were all under one entity in one LLC, which is another thing that I'm about to talk about. I would sign a personal guarantee for all of my stuff to him. If I don't pay him back, then he gets everything. And obviously he doesn't want the property, he just wants his money back, but that's his certainty of clause that he's going to get paid no matter what. This is how hard money lending works for the most of the time. It's a win-win deal. You're basically the bank where if you default, you just give this guy everything. That just means you have to know what the hell you're doing if you take out a loan from one of these types of people. But he has a ton of connections in terms of buying real estate, where he said there's a few areas in Florida, because he has a house here in Massachusetts. He has 2 houses here in Massachusetts, and right now I went to go play pickleball with him in Marblehead, which is one of the nicest areas of Massachusetts, and then one in Cape Cod, which is another really nice area. And then he has a house in Florida. He said he sold another house in Florida. But he said there's a few areas in Fort Myers that are just utterly crashing. He said he was buying units like 10 years ago for $250,000. Then in 2022, he was selling them for $400,000, and now they're back below $250,000 a unit. And that just means if you have a 10 unit spot, it's $250,000 per unit. And if I'm talking over your head right now, we were talking much more in depth. You kind of have to learn the language of real estate, of money. I mean, this stuff is, if you want to have a functional conversation with someone like this, you have to be able to speak the same language, because it's much quicker. It's much quicker than when I'm trying to explain it on a YouTube video where I know people are a bit younger. But I was interested from his perspective, what he looks for hard money loans, because I told him that my plan is to buy a 10 to 20 unit building this summer, and I'm going to get a hard money loan, is exactly what he does. And he actually offers really good rates. He would not lend to me because I have no assets to back it up. He doesn't want just the property that we're buying. He wants other things as a personal guarantee. So he has zero risk. He said, dude, he's old and Russian. He said, Josh, I just don't want to lose my money. He was a professional table tennis player, and now he's a freaking rock star pickleball player. And this dude's awesome. I'm definitely going to keep on hanging out with him. And this is just more my style. When I'm looking for friends, like this, I just know this dude's gonna be a freaking good friend of mine, because he's fun to hang out with. He's my age range. Well, not like just like the kind of age range where I like to talk to these people, but then we can both just ball out and play pickleball and have a great time. So that was pretty epic. Now I'm carless right now. So now, what was I saying earlier when I said depends upon what assets you have in your name. Here's another thing that's important that I'm trying to get set up, which is covering all your liabilities. When you buy assets, they should all be under different entities. And for the reason for this is if you get sued, if someone's trying to come after you, you want to have your assets in a ton of different places, which it doesn't matter for me right now because I have no assets. But one of my clients, we're about to sign the paperwork and he's about to become a client. He's like the #1 tax person in helping people strategize to keep all their stuff. So he was saying, dude, your business is under an S Corp. It should be under an LLC. You got to fix this. I'm going to put you in contact with one of the guys, one of my paralegals, and he can set this up for you. He said, everyone that I do business with, they have to know how to do business. And I've told them about my plans in the past because he knows that I have a tax problem coming up. So he said, dude, you should be buying real estate. Here's the types of properties that are going to qualify. Here's where you should set up your entity. I mean, all of this stuff is so freaking complicated and so stupid. It's just this rich boys club, but you got to freaking get into. And so when I figure all that stuff, I will overlay it, but it's fun. All this stuff just takes time and it's not instant. And a lot of deals get closed on the pickleball court, on the tennis court, or on the golf course. It's not just sitting in your room doing work all day. That's fine, but to close some deals, you gotta freaking touch some grass and step outside. So anyway, I'm fasted right now. I've not eaten anything, I'm hungry as shit. And now I gotta pick my mom up from work because I took her car so I could go play on my pickleball date.